Hi guys, and good morning. Welcome back to another video. My name is Georgia, also known as G Daniels Fitness. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. This one's gonna be a little bit of a different video just because I am feeling a little bit inspired. So I thought we would do a sit down video, which I literally never do. But this is gonna be a lot of yapping, but I promise a lot of very important information. So this video is gonna be everything I effed up in my 8 bodybuilding shows the last 4 years. So you don't have to. So for background, I started competing in 2020, like literally mask on stage, bedazzled, matched my suit. Crazy, right? The gyms were closed half of my prep. So obviously keep that in mind. My journey began a little differently. We've done 8 shows, 4 years. And I feel like I just had some clients compete about a week ago and they flew in, did it in person. It just kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to the things I kind of wish I knew when someone told me. And I feel like there's a lot of things I kind of share with my clients because I freaking messed up. And I feel like it just helps them to be able to fully bring their best to show day. Mainly when it comes to a competition prep, you really, when it's your first time, first, you don't know how your body's gonna respond, you don't know how your mental is gonna respond, but also at the same time, you don't know what you're doing wrong until someone tells you. And then sometimes it's too late, right? Like I have messed up so many times just because I didn't watch YouTube videos and I didn't know competitors. I was the only person in my college and where I was located in my town that competed. So I knew no one. So imagine like doing this sport, which I'm sure some of y'all are. You don't have a single friend. You don't know anyone that competes because that was me. I feel like there's a lot of things I messed up that like, girl, you would have looked better and would have gotten maybe a pro card earlier if you figured out this stuff sooner. Yeah, probably will do another separate YouTube video. I've done one similar to the past of like, how do you know if you're ready to compete if y'all want a video like this? But this is like, you are doing a show. Like you are ready. These are things I wish I knew. Start with the most important, but the most kind of like broad aspect of it, of having a coach. That is the most important thing about it all, is having somebody else be able to look at your body, be objective about it. I am very happy with the coaches I have had. I've had 2 separate coaches in my journey. I had one when I had first started, when I was younger, and then I got a new coach about 1.5 years ago. I am a committed girl. Like I am with my coach for years. I'll be with Brandon probably the rest of my career. I'm a full believer in like you grow with your coach and obviously they learn about your body as you learn about yours too. I think sometimes when we first start bodybuilding, we expect our coach to know everything about our body, but let's be honest, our body is like, it's a living being. It changes. It changes with your mental, it changes with your body, and you really need time with your coach for your coach to even be able to understand how your body's gonna respond. You need more than one prep for your coach to fully know the perfect way to prep you and to peak you, right? So think of, and I just feel like people don't think of it like this, think of peak week as like a science project, right? I've prepped so many people by now, but like, you know, I mean, I'm still young, but I've prepped a good amount of people. And so I can have a good estimation, number one, of how your body is going to respond because of maybe how our off season went, how our trial refeeds during prep went. Usually we'll do a couple refeeds, back-to-back refeeds leading in, right? We do things so I can have an idea how your body is going to respond. But realistically, we do not 100% know how your body is going to respond on peak week with the mental stress leading into the show, mainly for somebody who's doing the first show. So we are learning about your body as we see your body. So that's why kind of leading into peak week as well, a lot of us will have daily check-ins after like every meal leading into the show. It's a lot because it's data. So think of it as data. So generically, getting a coach you trust, getting a coach that you can communicate with and you feel like that you are able to kind of be honest with is number one. Because if they are bringing good people on stage, they obviously know it. But it's most about having a coach that you are ready to be with in the long term and you can trust them with your life, right? That's number one. But I feel like once you have a coach that you can really, really trust, it changes the game because it's like, it's past, okay, do I think that they can get me there? Because I know that they can. It's me as a client following 120 freaking percent because it's not the plan they're probably giving me. Like at this point for me, I'm like, it's not the plan that Brandon's giving me. It's like I need to lock in, which I mean, I'm pretty locked in, but it's repetition over time, right? And building that physique. I know he has the knowledge and I know it's about me getting there. I actually just talked about it with a client about this the other day. When you're starting prep, right? Let's say you have a beat per minute heart rate goal, right? Let's say you're doing a moderate intensity. Let's say it's a minimum of 145. Let's say it's like 145 to 165 beats per minute, right? You're starting prep, you have 5 by 20, you know, not much cardio, and you're aiming for your heart rate goal of 145 to be your average, right? You're probably on like literally such a low level, like level 4, level 5 on your on the Stairmaster. Don't do that, right? The goal when you start prep, that is when you have the most energy. pedal to the metal, girl. Have your heart rate be on the highest part of that moderate range that they give you, or that range that they give you. Because you would rather, right, be giving everything you have at the beginning then you get to the end of the prep and you just have much low energy. And I've had clients tell me, they're like, man, I wish that I gave the intensity at the beginning when I had the energy, because I'm at the end now and I'm giving everything and it's just, I'm so exhausted. And I'm like, yes, couple things. Yes, give 120%, but your cardio, think about this. Your cardio is not going to get as high minute wise if you're keeping your intensity. You're not like finding a hack because your heart rate is lower, right? If you're giving more intensity in each cardio session, you're burning more calories. I'm not going to have to move your cardio up as much. So the clients that are like not getting much cardio, like I had clients up on stage the other day, we were doing like 7 by 35 minutes on peak week, right? Or like leading into peak week. It's because she's giving 110%. Her heart rate's on the higher end of that goal and she's not half doing her cardio. So don't think of each cardio session as, okay, I have to get it done. I just need to check the box. If my heart rate is barely there, I'm good. No. How can I push harder this cardio session? How can I get farther? How can I go faster? Because it's only helping you, and mainly at the beginning of the prep, giving more intensity. Same with your gym training. You're not going to lose muscle. Every prep I've gained muscle. And maybe the last couple weeks you maintained muscle. But your food is not that deep of a deficit that you should be half doing your workouts. If you start half doing your workouts, think about this as well. You are burning less calories. Realistically, you're burning less calories in the day. Your expenditure is lower. You're going to have to eat less. Number one. You're also going to lose muscle mass. If over a 6-month period, you're training half-ass, right? Try to keep your training intensity super high. Keep pushing it. Start deciding in your brain, I'm not weaker. I can grow. And once you decide in your brain that you can grow during prep, it unlocks a new intensity. I feel like my intensity is always higher because I'm so motivated in prep than off season sometimes. And I'm trying to find that balance now that I'm making sure I'm obviously training just as hard. But that's my intensity touch. Talk seasonings, sauces, probably things y'all are not thinking about. They're, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it because every single prep, I'm like, oh man, like stop hacking it. There's no hack. There was no hack. Crazy. I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, eating these like higher, oh my gosh, I wish. Okay. Oh, how do I say this nicely? Even to myself, my past self. First, do meal plan. Okay. Don't do macros. Don't do it. Okay. Basically every show I've done macros, besides this last one, I switched to meal plan halfway through. And I never thought I was a meal plan person. I thought it was going to make me have more cravings. It was going to be worse. I needed to be able to satisfy my mental. No. Lock in for the first 8 weeks of prep. It might be a little hard mentally to not be having your normal foods, but by the time you get 6 to 8 weeks in, out of like an 18-week prep, you're not craving those foods anymore. But if you keep incorporating these foods to try to like help with and satisfy your cravings, it just gets harder and your cravings get worse near the end of prep. Even as a girl who's never done a full prep or meal plan, I'm on meal plan off season. I'm like, why? Literally, why did I make it so hard on myself? So if your coach allows you, and I would heavily encourage, do meal plan. I don't think I've had any clients, and maybe one has done macros, and it was a special case. 99.9% of my clients do meal plan, and we do meal plan going into prep. Like, we do a couple weeks on meal plan to fine tune you liking the sources, digestion. That's different. We kind of have to get our mind and our body kind of in our taste buds used to this form of eating and this meal timing. Now, when it comes to seasoning, sauces, things like that, right? I think sometimes we start to use, for example, like a low sodium soy sauce. It's 0 cal, right? Why wouldn't we want to use it? Or these tons of Kinder seasonings. Why not, right? Sodium makes a huge, huge difference. And mainly as we get to the end of prep, it holds a lot of water for some people. So this is what I'll say. I wouldn't hack sauces. I wish I never knew soy sauce existed on a prep, to be honest. Don't use it. I've used it so many times in past preps, and I'm like, why did I do that? I probably was holding on to so much water because of it, mainly near the end of prep. So this is what I'll say. Sauce-wise, the only thing I use is hot sauces and mustards. That's all I use. Sometimes I'll add, little hack, I'll add stevia into my mustard because it makes Martina told me about this last prep, and I don't know how I didn't know this my entire life. It makes like a honey mustard, putting stevia into mustard. It's really good. It's insane. I eat it now, every day. So that and hot sauce are the only sauces that I do, okay? We're not doing GQ's barbecue sauce because I did that thinking like a 15 calorie, oh my gosh. Okay. It's an old me. I'm different now, okay? I promise. But we're not doing that. We're also not doing sugar-free syrup. We're not. We're not doing sugar-free syrup. Crazy, I know. But is it really worth it? Like, it's things like that. It's just small things add up. And if your goal, because you're why you're watching this video, you want to literally crush your prep, let's just try not to hack it. You can, of course, ask your coach. Like, if you ask your coach, can I put a little sugar-free syrup? And they say yes, that's on them, right? But don't be just adding these things and not consulting. Very, very important thing to think about. When you start to get to seasonings, mainly at the beginning of the prep to the end, the goal is keeping things consistent, right? Don't be trying a bunch of new seasonings. Don't be switching things up. Don't be just trying different things every single week. Keep it consistent. Keep it the same. Kinder seasonings, no issues with them. But if you're doing a sodium free and adding a tiny bit of salt maybe in your seasonings and switch to Kinders, a lot of these other things have way higher sodium. You don't know how your body is going to respond. So this is what I say. Keep it consistent, and then obviously then you have the data of like, okay, if my body's holding on to water, my body's not holding on to water, I know how my body responds to these seasonings. We don't want to be adding a bunch of new things the last couple weeks of prep, right? So just a thing I never thought about, and I sometimes I have to like problem solve with my clients, like, why are we seeing these changes in someone's body when we eat less food or the same amount of food? Think about things like that. Just keep seasonings consistent and the amount of sauce you're using consistent. Same with fillers of your to add volume, okay? Personally, I do, as food gets lower, add, like, I chat with them and we incorporate those kind of higher volume foods like shredded lettuce, maybe more vegetables, maybe the spinach and the mixed bell peppers with their egg whites in the morning. Like, I do incorporate that into meal plan as we get lower, because I understand that hunger is going to be high. I understand it. As somebody who preps, it is hard. To keep saying like you need to have some filler, got it. But I will say there is too much. There is too much. And I think sometimes we think, okay, romaine lettuce is 5 calories. What is having as much? Why do I need to weigh it? Okay. I would just say, talk to your coach about this. I don't know obviously who your coach is, but I give them certain weights and the amount we want per day, which meals, stuff like that. Keep everything consistent. The amount of veggies that you're having, the amount of extra spinach that you're having, the amount of shredded lettuce you're having. This is going to make a difference for a high level competitor. And obviously this is the first, keep in mind, this is the first full prep I have done with Brandon and with my coach this past season. And the amount I learned from that was insane. So yeah, keep them consistent and keep them the same all of prep. That is the goal right now, is that you consult your coach and ask them weights and everything like that, and just keep it consistent so we have the data of how your body responds. Now to get super extra, very, very, very extra. Keep in mind this whole thing is extra because we're talking about competing. We're talking about competing. I do not do this stuff in the off season. I'm not weighing my shredded lettuce, okay? Stay away from gum, a bunch of crazy amounts of gum. I feel like people go through packs a day and we don't want to do that. Same with Tic Tacs. Do not eat Tic Tacs, okay? These are generic things to say. Those like random like things add up. Same with like sodas and things like that. Keep them in moderation. We're not doing like 10 sodas a day. I do have diet sodas even on prep, okay? They keep me sane. They keep me alive and sane. So I do have like, I don't know, 1 to 3 a day. Okay, maybe that's a lot. Ooh. Like I'm trying to keep it consistent in the same amount. I'm not doing an insane amount of drastic difference between like one day to the next. You know what really got me through this last prep? Hot tea. Why does no one talk about the power of hot tea? Why is that not broadcasted everywhere? Hot tea, like herbal teas, oh my gosh, they're amazing. An easy way to like kind of get your water up in the evening. It helps you de-stress throughout the day, having like a chamomile or something at the end of the day. Obviously caffeine free at night. That helped me a lot, more than I realized. Made things without caffeine in the evenings, and a hot tea. You can put a little stevia in there. It's like a little sweet treat. I'm addicted to tea on prep. It is so good. I literally will like boil hot water and I'll just put like 1 tea bag or 2 tea bags in like a whole like boiler for like hot tea. And it's maybe a little weaker, but I feel like I'm like drinking more water because of it. And it keeps me like a little entertained. I don't know what it is. I wish somebody had told me about the hot tea thing because I've never seen anybody really talking much about it. Yeah, I steep a whole thing like by 5 p.m. I'm boiling like 40 fluid ounces of water and I put like a tea bag or 2 tea bags in the whole thing near the end of prep. And it just made my day so good. I don't know. Obviously keep in mind the competitiveness and the seriousness of bodybuilding in 2020 when I first started to today. Completely different. So this is a very like extreme. And I feel like over the last couple years, I've had to like adjust and learn like the seriousness that was expected. This is what I'll say as well. At the end of the day, if you listen to your coach, ask questions, don't just assume. There's not a dumb question when you're on prep. One last thing that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to leave y'all, and hopefully this answered some questions. Your timing of your food, your timing of your sleep, your timing of your lifts, your timing of your cardio, it matters a lot. Your body and mental fatigue. When I was in school, I worked like 50, 60-hour weeks for my first show and second show. I was like the only employee basically, and I was in school and I was in bodybuilding prep. It was a lot. It was a lot going on, and I understand that. I used to go and do my cardio from like 11 p.m. to like midnight. Like that was mine. Instead of waking up at 3, 4 a.m., I would go at 11 p.m. midnight. And in my brain, it didn't matter. I was like, what is the difference? Why not do it late in the day and at night, right? It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Your sleep, your circadian rhythm makes a huge difference on your recovery, on how your body's able to lose weight. Huge difference. Wake up earlier. It is always better to try to do it kind of before your day begins if you can. Obviously, it's different when you start doing night shifts. That's different. But when you have a normal like day shift like I was, and I was just working basically all day, like a 10-hour shift, 12-hour shifts just during the day, it is always better to wake up and kind of get it out of the way in the morning when you have more energy. Think about this as well. This is why I'm saying this. The training intensity that you can give at the end of the day and strength that you can give at the end of a 12-hour workday, 10-hour workday, than when you woke up in the morning from 4 to 5 a.m. different. I'm probably burning less calories. I'm going to lose muscle because I don't have as much mental energy or physical energy. I've been on my feet all day. How much I was training or how hard I was able to train, different. So I wish I just got up earlier. I wish I just got it out of the way. Same with cardio. No, you cannot do cardio from 11 p.m. to midnight. I wish I told myself that at 19, 20. Just don't do it. Again, this is not for night shifters. It's different. I just wish that I didn't do that. Like if you're working a 9 to 9, like all day, there's no reason. Wake up in the morning, do it in the morning. Anyways, I think that's everything that I wanted to ramble about. At the end of the day, you have to get on stage and do a prep to understand where you messed up. But I hope some of this helps somebody, because I wish somebody like drilled some of these things into my head. It's just the knowledge is out there, but it's just, you have to look for it. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a rambling episode that needed to happen. I don't know if any of y'all have watched this to the end. I'd love you if you did. If you did watch it to the end, comment down below what division you're wanting to compete in. Like bikini, figure, wellness, women's physique, fitness. Comment it down below so we can chat. If you have any more questions about competition prep, feel free to shoot me a message in my DMs on Instagram or even comment it down below. Obviously this is my life. I love helping other people compete. I love prepping other people. On that note, I am a prep competition coach. If you are looking for a coach, I have my link attached down below. I am with Hustle Harder, but you can apply to work with me in my link down below. It's also my Instagram bio. Yeah, just a quick little sum, and then I'll send you an email with all the information so we can chat a little bit more, see if we're a good fit. But if you're thinking about competing in 2025, which I mean, maybe you are if you're watching this video, hire a coach sooner than later. A lot of my clients that are stepping on stage, I have a couple girls stepping on stage this month. A lot of the people that are stepping on stage, they started with me around this time last year. So we kind of had 6 months. I mean, even if they had muscle mass, we had a couple months that we could develop the routines of prep before prep even begins. Think about how much less stress you have when you're already used to the meals, you're already used to the training style, you're already used to the supplements and getting the water and all the routine. And so the only thing you have to stress about when prep starts is a little more cardio, a little less food. Crazy. It relieves a lot of stress. And it gives you a lot more confidence of, you can handle the prep before the prep even begins. And that's so freaking powerful. So just that's a little note if you do need a coach, link in bio. That's everything. I think the last thing I want to mention was stage presence. Start working with a posing coach in the off season. But because obviously I did not know how to walk on heels. I still barely know how to walk in heels. Anyways, I'm leaving it at that. I rambled enough. Thank y'all for watching, my loves. And this was a really chatty video. Let me know if y'all liked this. We're done. I'm not allowed to talk anymore. Okay. Love y'all. See you next video.